Good afternoon. In part 2 of the Adecco Better Work, Better Life interview series, we're pleased to welcome Scott Friedman to the Adecco booth. Scott is a certified speaker, the author of 2 books, the co-author of 4 others, and he's based in Denver, Colorado. Scott focuses on humor as a tool in sales, improving service, public speaking techniques, and change management. Now, Scott spends a huge amount of his time traveling, so we're thrilled to have him here today. And please give a warm welcome to Scott Friedman. Thank you. Great to have you back in Singapore, Scott. Your opening session this morning, a lot of people here at this event.
Yeah, a couple thousand, I guess.
A couple of thousand, definitely.
Yeah, wonderful group.
Good. Now, you talk a lot about humor as it relates to the working environment. What does humor really mean in the workplace? Is it just about having a laugh with your workmates?
Whenever you can get a good laugh in, you just get a good laugh in. No, actually, it's much more than that. Humor is really more about engagement than it is about just humor. It's engaging your employees so that they are more creative, more innovative. They'll show up for work more often, and you'll find that laugh lines impact the bottom line. Once they're engaged, they'll be more loyal to your organization, and then customers will become engaged as well.
Right, but playing sort of devil's advocate, these are serious times at the moment, and there, you know, this HR Summit event is called Times of Challenge and Change. Is humor the really right approach in the workplace at the moment?
If you can laugh at it, you can survive it. And actually, now is more important to use humor than ever because there's so much doom and gloom out there. And it's really where you focus your energy. And if you focus on the doom and gloom, and you know, I like to say that no matter where you are in your life today, there's someone that has it a lot worse that's figured out a way to be happy, and someone that has it a lot better that's figured out a way to be miserable. And it's really the way that you look at life. But if you look through the eyes of humor, if you look for the funny, you find the good. If you look for the good, you find the funny. So actually now is the most important time to look for humor. Okay,
so let's stay on that theme. We've got a conference full of HR managers, HR directors, and HR professionals. What can they be doing in the workplace, in their own companies, to bring that humor through?
There's a lot of different things that you can do, but let's talk about humor rituals for a minute. The 1-minute humor break. The ability to distance yourself away from the stress and the pressure of the workplace. So one fun example that I like to use is to use profanity as one of these 1-minute humor breaks. And you're thinking, profanity? Are we allowed to do that in the workplace? Well, this is profanity with a twist. Here's what you do: you write down all of your favorite swear words or cuss words on a piece of paper. You know, some of the people may need the back. Then you give each swear word a number, 1 through 30, 31 through 60. Next time something upsets you, instead of screaming out the swear word, you just scream out the number. 3, 13, 7, 2, 4, 11, your mother, 9, 18. Shove a 2x4 up your 8. I got your 13 right here. So you immediately release the stress, and then people wonder what those numbers mean.
Right.
So it's a way of dealing with stress a little bit differently.
Okay. Now, for many years, work-life balance for many people was a nice to have. People talked about or aspired to have work-life balance, but it didn't really happen. And if you look around this event now, you'll see a number of companies, spa providers, on the Adecco booth, there's hand reflexology. It's becoming more important. Does that play a role as well? Can humor in that work-life balance play an important role as well?
Sure. Well, I know Adecco is so good at that, and you bet. I mean, that's a big part of it. The workplace today is more mobile, more versatile, and people focus more on personal freedom than they ever have before. And if you look at the needs of the millennials today, that's one of their. In fact, I think Citrix is the one that did the survey where 61% would love to web commute. That's one of the most important benefits of working for an organization is to be able to do it more on their terms. So it's a huge part of it is when you incentivize your employees, how can you do it so that it really rewards them for the way they want to live their lifestyle?
Right. Now, talent management is a subject that many delegates here will be talking about over the next few days. And we've talked a lot, the media's talked a lot and in the news about downsizing and retrenchment, but talent management and keeping your good people is still really important. Can humor as well in the workplace help keep talent? And do you have any statistics or data about that?
I don't have any right off the top of my head, but I know that you probably do.
Yeah.
Adecco. Right. Well, I mean, statistics will show you that an engaged employee ends up staying working for that company. That people don't leave jobs, they leave managers. They leave conflict of situations with people. So if you can engage people, if you can create an environment where people are learning, they feel good about themselves, and they have the chance to do what they like to do, those are the people that are going to stay around, and usually those are going to be your best employees.
Exactly. Now those employees need great leaders, and leaders today need to be inspiring, and people want to be inspired. What ways can managers inspire their people during these times of change?
You talk about great leaders, and Jim Collins wrote the book From Good to Great, and he starts with 1,000 companies, ends up paring it down to 11 companies that have sustained greatness for 15 years. And he looks at the leaders of those companies and what they have in common, and he finds that they had two things in common. Number one, a professional will to succeed. And number two, they have a self-effacing style, a sense of humility about them. And they realize that maybe that on some subconscious level that the number one killer of good decision making is ego. So first it's coming from a humble place, a place of humility. And then to inspire, really all you need to do to inspire is to honor your employees, to make them feel special, to have the I care, you matter approach. And then when you look at change, it's to co-create the change. I mean, how can we do this together so that there's buy-in, so that they understand what the bigger picture is in the company, so that they can get on board and know what their role is in creating the bigger picture.
Right. Now, are some countries and areas better at doing that than others? Do you see that happening in more areas?
I think in America, I mean, we've heard of humor therapy for years, so right. It's accepted, and it's one of the we're too stressed. Bring in the humor guy. Come on, quick, we need him fast. Where in Asia, it's such a new concept, and it's I do what I told I'm to do. Hey, you're doing a great job. That's my responsibility around here to do a good job. So it's new, and because of the culture. It's not quite as accepted, but I think that'll change as we all become a more global community.
For sure. Now, we talked about being inspirational as a leader. Who inspires you most, Scott?
You do, Ian.
Thank you very much.
This interview
right answer.
Actually, it's, one of the speakers at this convention is one of my heroes. Is a man by the name of Lou Heckler. And Lou is just a man who walks his talk, lives by a great set of values, one of the funniest guys I've ever known. And look up to Lou. He's been a wonderful role model.
Worth checking out, Lou.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, our time's just about up. One last thought or one last piece of learning that you'd like to leave us with?
I think that everybody listening to this needs to become their own director of mirth, to take responsibility for adding a little bit of humor in their lives, to do one ritual or something, take a risk that says, I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna truly look for the humor, create humor in this situation, and then I think they're gonna say, oh wow, those who laugh last.
Perfect. Thanks very much, Scott. I know we're going to be hearing quite a bit more from you over the next few days, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate it.